Hello and welcome back to the channel, people. Welcome back to another Chelsea news video. We'll be discussing the latest Chelsea news and rumors. But before we get into that, I would like to ask you to subscribe to the channel. We are closing in on 1,000 subscribers and I would like to hit that mark before the Club World Cup starts. So without further ado, let's get into the video. From Fabrizio Romano, Chelsea insists on their plans to keep Enzo Fernandez despite links with Real Madrid. No intentions to sell. He's considered a key part of long-term project and also a leader in the dressing room. So this is very good news coming from Fabrizio Romano. We all know how vital Enzo Fernandez is to Enzo Maresca's system. Enzo Maresca even made Enzo Fernandez vice captain, to show that how he values Enzo Fernandez as a player and also his leadership qualities. So it would be very silly for us to sell Enzo Fernandez when we'll be keeping Enzo Maresca going forward in this project. So we always talk about how the clubs would back the managers, and this is exactly that. Enzo Fernandez can't go anywhere as long as Enzo Maresca is here, because Enzo Fernandez plays a vital role in the Maresca system. And we even seen Enzo Fernandez improve a lot over last season. He's scoring more goals, he's assisting more, he's creating more chances. So Enzo Fernandez can only improve. So do I see Enzo Fernandez, staying for 10 years at Chelsea? No, I don't. Maybe for the next 5 years he will be here and each year improving, and then we can sell him to a Real Madrid even for more money. So it will be silly to sell Enzo Fernandez now where he's still starting to find form. Rather sell him later on when he hits his prime, then we can get the money back that we spent on Enzo Fernandez. Breaking: Chelsea has started negotiations with Brighton to sign Joao Pedro and has signalled an offer of £50 million. Chelsea want it done to have him for the Club World Cup. Now, like I said in my video yesterday, I do rate Joao Pedro. I do think he's a decent player. And this would make sense if we get rid of Nkunku and Joao Felix, because Joao Pedro is a number 10. He can play as a false 9, but I don't see Chelsea getting Joao Pedro in, to be a competition for Nicholas Jackson or to replace Nicholas Jackson as a number 9. I see him more as a number 10 replacement for Nkunku and Joao Felix. Because if we do sell those two players, Cole Palmer will be the only number 10 left in the team. This signing would make a lot of sense. And I know a lot of you are going to say, what about Esteban Willian? He wants to play in the number 10 role. Like I said before, Esteban Willian is coming to a different country, a different continent. And also, he's going to have to learn the system of Enzo Maresca, what Enzo Maresca wants him to do. He's going to have to build chemistry with the players. And like I said, he's coming to a different climate. He's going to have to adjust first. So don't think that Esteban Willian is just going to come straight into the Chelsea first team. That's not going to happen. So you guys should stop putting so much pressure on this kid. And when he comes to England, he's not going to perform at the end of the day. He's going to need time to adjust to the whole new setting that's around him. So just give him time, and that's why we keep going after a player like a Joao Pedro who could fill that position for now. And then Esteban Willian, as the time goes on, he can be integrated into this Chelsea first team. From Medlaw, a strike will be the primary target for Chelsea. The likes of Delap, Enzo and Hugo Ekitike are all on their list. So we know already that Arsenal is talking to Benjamin Sesko. Victor Osimhen is on his way to Saudi. Victor Gyökeres is still available. Why is Chelsea not moving for Victor Gyökeres? And he's very doable because he's earning £40,000 a week at Sporting Lisbon. He probably want £200,000 a week. If we get rid of Sterling, Nkunku, Felix, Ben Chilwell, Chukwuemeka, and all these type of players, the wage will be light enough to give him that £200,000 a week. We need a striker up front. We need a killer up front. Someone is going to guarantee you 20 goals a season. Victor Gyökeres is in his prime at the moment. If we want to go into Champions League next season, we want to compete for the title. We don't want to be just a number in the Champions League and be knocked out in early rounds. We want to compete for the title when we go into the Champions League next season. So I don't know why we're not going for Victor Gyökeres. And this is the issue that I have with the sporting directors and the ownership, is that these players are available. It would have been a different story if these players aren't available. Then we can look at players like Delap and Ekitike, because then you can say a striker like Victor Osimhen, Victor Gyökeres, Haaland, they're all not available. So this is the only strikers that's left on the market. That will be a different story. But these guys are available at the end of the day. We need those type of strikers in our club. We can still get Osimhen if we wanted to. But now Osimhen said he's not going to drop his wage demand, so he's going to Saudi instead. We need to show more ambition in the transfer market, especially if we want to qualify for Champions League. We need to compete for the title and not just be a number in the Champions League. Enzo Maresca and Nkunku and Guiu. Christopher Nkunku is working with us in the last days. Him and Guiu both can be available for the next game versus Nottingham Forest. They can be available. So this is very good news. I don't think Nkunku is going to play for us ever again. But this is good news for Mark Guiu. He's available. As we all know, Nicholas Jackson will be suspended for that game. So Mark Guiu coming off the bench, they can work for us. They can really work for us. We don't have a recognized number 9. We probably won't start the game as he's coming from an injury. I'm expecting Pedro, Neto, or Tyreek Jones to start up front. And then Mark Guiu coming on later on, maybe after the first half, coming on for the second half. That's what I'm looking at against Nottingham Forest. So at least we'll have a recognized striker up front, one who presses, who can score the goals. It will be a nuisance to the Nottingham Forest defenders. So this is very good news coming from Enzo Maresca. End to end, Trevor Chalobah gets his first senior call-up for England. That's extremely good news for Trevor Chalobah. He deserves this for a player that faced so much adversity. You know, he's very underrated and disrespected. From being left out of the preseason tour, you know, the sporting directors wanting to sell him, going out on loan to Crystal Palace, recalling him back to the club when we had injury on Fofana, coming to Chelsea, doing a job, and being the best defender at the club at the end of the day. So fair play to Trevor Chalobah. He deserves this, and I know he's going to smash it for England as well. And that's it for this video, people. If you enjoyed it and you want to support the channel, please give the video a like. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed yet. Like I said, we're closing in on 1,000 subscribers, and hopefully we get there before the Club World Cup starts. And I'll see you in the next one, people. Take care. Peace.